Hey, Scribbles and I wanted to jump on here really quick and tell you what happened at the Capitol on Thursday. I testified. Representative Corbett asked me to testify. I was so excited. It was my very first time all by myself. But I just wanted to pop on here really quick to say something weird happened. They live streamed it, of course. I guess they're required to by law, or maybe they're not, but they do anyway. And Scribbles' testimony got cut off, and so did Fred Swan's, and so did mine. So if you didn't watch it live, then you didn't see our testimony.
Scribbles can bring Aviva with him.
Thank you so much for having me, Chairman Walker. I guess I'm more important than my mommy. Well, probably, actually. Probably more famous. I want to talk about hemp seeds and how nutritious they are and how they have all 9 omegas and protein. And I eat them all the time, and my mommy spends a lot of money on them, and she would buy them from farmers markets fresh from homesteaders who grew the seeds. But nobody can do that in Georgia. It's okay. And so, can we please add that they can grow raw and sell the raw? There's this section in there. Mom, what is it? I'd have to look it up, but it's in the Georgia Hemp Farming Act. It's not in 336. It's in the definitions. Yeah, it says that farmers can't grow their raw hemp or leaves or flowers. It doesn't say seeds. So can we say they can sell the seeds? So we're just really confused. And I just want to say that I'm committed. I have a pledge to all of you here today to serve humanity and teach all the children about hemp so they're not scared of it anymore. There's been a stigma created for years involving racism and all kinds of horrible things, like about cannabis, and cannabis is a beautiful plant from God. Thank you very much. Wow, Scribbles. Congratulations, that was a great speech.
Yeah, thank you, Scribbles. And you're sharing his 5 minutes, by the way.
How typical of the corrupt nature of this family right here. Well, sorry about that, but I really appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate all the representatives meeting with me, fielding all my phone calls, not returning them, and that's okay too, because maybe you still see them. Maybe you still see my emails. My name is Aviva. I am founder of the Georgia Hemp Economic Revival Organization. I founded it because I found out that you can use cannabis for fuel, and I wrote the song Cannabis Car and got pressured to start coming down here and talking to you all for free for all of our entertainment. And I basically also started to do documentaries about hemp. So I released Hempdemic last year about HB 847 because it just wasn't enough. The 2 minutes, the 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying? The first thing I want to address that we spoke about already is that it's not sustainable. Well, the reason why we only have 145 farmers is because I've got dozens of farmers messaging me because I founded this organization and I'm the contact point, saying they are farming in other states. So we're not getting the money. They're just going to go down to Florida where there's no fee to actually grow, even though there's a permit to process. They're going to go to North Carolina where there's no fee to process. So we don't have a program because we're driving out all the business to other states. So if you just go along with the same thing, guess what? You're not going to have a program this year either. So I'm against this bill because it's so restrictive and there's no hemp program and there's no point to it. Also, the GPS, I just wanted to add, it could be a good thing because the other thing that's not really growing here, unfortunately Scribbles, is for food and fiber, because if it crossbreeds with the flower plant, then the flower has less CBD, which they don't like. So perhaps we could work in at some point using those GPS coordinates to inform the other farmers if they're going outside that they don't crossbreed. That would probably be good. I also want to address, yes, it's felony for 10 years, felony. And thank you, Representative Jackson, for bringing that up. and for just a felony federally, not a misdemeanor. So this, I absolutely think, is a racial issue. And let me explain. As I explained in Hempdemic, which you can all watch for free on YouTube, I explained the racial nature of the prohibition of cannabis. Literally, it was prohibited to arrest people of color and Mexicans who were using it. But at the same time, the hemp farmers were growing it for the war, for the ropes, and we were depending on this. And some corporations suppressed it. You know, the same corporations that donate to your campaigns, you know, DuPont and Dow Chemical, they suppressed hemp because of how good it was for the creating all kinds of materials and fiber and the war. So because of the racial implications, I think, you know, I'm from New York, West Hempstead, New York, born and raised there. Okay. Hempstead. That's ironic. It's so much more racist down here. I mean, I've been here long enough to know, like, it's night and day. And so you look at the states with the hemp laws that are more restrictive, and it is a racial issue. And I think we just have to see that. Like, we can't keep turning our heads to that, because the thing is, yes, they have been arrested, and yes, they got misdemeanors for selling cannabis, perhaps. But where was their dad? They had to make a living, and cannabis shouldn't be a controlled substance anyway. So you understand what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? So now you're basically punishing and restricting someone further who has been already unfairly punished. And so I really want you to think about that, and I pray for your compassion on that issue, because I think it's unnecessary, and I think it's just not good for the world. So please remove the misdemeanor restriction on page 5, line 111, if you can. And I guess, what else can I say? As the other really important thing I think we should all discuss, and I also want to just start off by saying the USDA federal plan is better than the Georgia plan, and it might behoove us to actually just say, let's just throw out this Georgia program and go with the USDA federal program. The processing fee they recommend for Alabama, for example, goes along with that, is $1,000. So the other thing that's really prohibiting us is the fact that we can't sell the raw hemp, and the raw flower. If it creates this really confusing thing for everyone in the industry, and I'm constantly being asked questions about it, because what the farmer can do is the farmer can grow the raw hemp. The farmer can package the raw hemp and trim the raw hemp, because it's not considered processing now, but he cannot sell it to anyone in Georgia for anything. The farmer's going to have to sell it out of state to a processor, but guess what? The processor can sell it back to Georgia retailers. So we can have hundreds of stores selling hemp, raw hemp, here in Georgia, and our farmers aren't benefiting from it, but it's there anyway. So what's the point? So that's really confusing to me. If we, like Victoria mentioned, change the legislation so that we can allow the raw hemp flower and permit every single person along that chain, the retailers, the wholesalers, the distributors, the farmers, everyone, the manufacturers, and just charge the $650, we're going to have millions of dollars. Like, we really will. And we could also appropriate the $3 million that we gave to one processor, Second Century Ag, who was supposed to create jobs. We could use that to create jobs for all of us. Give that to if you really need the money.
Aviva, we sure appreciate your testimony and your passion.
Thank you.
And we love Scribbles.
But I was right there with you. Yes, you were.